We just got our first look at Zadra, the world's first RMC ground-up hybrid. At first glance, I couldn't help but start comparing it to Steel Vengeance, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. Quick note, I have not ridden either Zadra or Steel Vengeance yet, and some of you might say, Zach, how can you make a comparison without riding one of them? And I think this is actually good, because then I am not biased towards one over the other. The only bias that I might have is towards Steel Vengeance, and that is because it is in my home country. Energylandia is not just branding Zadra as a wood coaster, but they are also calling it the world's #1 best coaster. So what do I think about Zadra? Zadra, without a doubt, has one of the best layouts and elements in the world. Just look at it. 206 feet tall, a massive 0G stall, 2 0G rolls for a total of 3 inversions, this remarkable turn that reminds me of Fury's treble clef, and this awesome outer bank. The train in this POV looks like it is hauling, and this video was taken just after testing. When this thing actually warms up, I wouldn't be surprised if the airtime gives you marks on your legs just like Lightning Rod does. To sum up what I'm trying to say here, it looks incredible, but is it better than Steel Vengeance? I know a lot of us think that it is, or at least want it to be, but in my opinion, I don't think it looks as good as Steel Vengeance. Let's make one thing very clear. I don't think that either of these rides are bad in any way. We're talking about the world's first and second best coasters, but do I believe that there should be a winner? Of course I do, and I do think that there is something that Zadra is missing that Steel Vengeance absolutely takes advantage of. I already said the highlights of Zadra, so let's take a quick look at Steel Vengeance. Max height of 205 feet, a vertical drop, top hat, outer bank airtime hill, 2 0G rolls, a 0G stall, 6 back-to-back airtime hills, and it has the most airtime on any coaster. Comparing these layouts, both have similarities and differences. A 0G stall, 2 0G rolls, and a height just over 200 feet. Steel Vengeance does have a longer track length with over 1,500 more feet of track, so why do I think that Steel Vengeance looks better than Zadra? I don't think it's because it has the better elements, or it is longer, or even because it has the most airtime in the world. Where I think Steel Vengeance takes the cake is in the second half of the ride. When RMC is given a prominent structure like Mean Streak, they are gonna take advantage and make larger, more drawn out elements. When RMC is given a small structure like Cyclone, they're going to make tighter, faster, whippier elements. The reviews that people give when they first get off of Steel Vengeance is that the second half is better than the first. The second half is where the train starts to lose speed, so to make up for it, the elements need to be smaller, and that gives a more intense ride. Back to Zadra, Zadra was a ground-up creation, so it was not given the chance of having a second half being low and compact. Of course, Energylandia could have made a design with RMC to incorporate this, but they didn't, and that's where I think their major mistake was. If I said it once, I've said it a million times, Zadra is still a great ride, and whenever I get the chance to go to Poland, I'm going to be more than excited to ride it. With Steel Vengeance, RMC didn't need to make the second half the way it was. They could have made several larger elements, and that could have been it. However, Cedar Point wanted the record for the most airtime, and RMC was more than happy to use the structure to their advantage. With Zadra, there was no structure before. Now, don't get me wrong, Zadra does have some low-to-the-ground elements towards the end, but nothing compared to Steel Vengeance, where Steel Vengeance has a whole loop and a half around its structure dedicated to these small, tight elements. So why are these smaller elements more liked than the larger ones? It's just because of the intensity of the ride. You're gonna feel the negatives more in the first half of Steel Vengeance, you're gonna feel the positives, negatives, and laterals more in the second half. Without riding it, I cannot know for sure how the second half feels, but at my home park is Wicked Cyclone, and I have ridden Wicked Cyclone more than any other coaster on the planet, and it is pretty much the king of making these small compact elements. Am I saying that Wicked Cyclone is better than Zadra because the whole ride is built around these compact elements? Absolutely not. We do still love the elements on Zadra, like that 0G stall looks like madness, and the same goes for that first turn in that outer bank. Also, can we take a moment to appreciate this airtime hill? Look at the ejector airtime that this hill gives. That's like insane. In conclusion, Zadra's entire layout is like Steel Vengeance's first half on steroids, but it doesn't have the second half, the half that many say is the best part of Steel Vengeance. So what do you guys think? I'm going to put a card at the top of the screen where you can vote whether you think Zadra is the #1 coaster or you think that it is not the #1 coaster. Also, be sure to post your thoughts in the comments down below. I read every comment and would love to hear what you guys have to say. I'm your host Zach from Theme Park Media signing off, and I'll catch you in the next one.